So in this video, I'm going to put a chamfer on this side. You can see the tool is not engaged in the part, and what I want to do is set the depth of the tool. Okay, so I want to make sure, I want to cut this corner of the part with the middle of the tool. And I have a bit of space back here between the puck and the tool, so I can very easily move the part in the negative X direction without hitting the puck. Now on this side I have the fixture to worry about, so that'll be a little bit of a different story, but let's go for it. So I'm in handle jog mode. I can select the X direction, and that changes here. And then I'm going to move in the negative X, which is towards the part. So I'm just using the hand wheel to move inwards.
For this cut, we don't need to press.
Okay. So I'm not quite turning or hitting the part, but I'm in the middle of the tool, which is nice. And how I'm going to make the chamfer is just actually moving the part or the tool into the part when it's rotating. And it should create a nice a nice chamfer on it. Now, if the tool is not deep enough, what will end up happening is you'll start cutting on the nose of the tool. So this is the nose of the tool right there, and that will just cut flat. So you might see you won't see a consistent chamfer if you start cutting with the nose of the tool into the part as you move in the negative Z direction. So I don't think that will be the case for this depth right here, so that will be just fine. Okay, so we'll close the door. Then we will press 560. We'll hold down the trigger button and we'll press forward. I'm going to move the light in here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to move in the negative Z direction, but first I want to know where my origin is. I want to know where that edge of the tool is, so I know how far I'm going into the tool, into the part to make the chamfer. So we need to listen for that sound. So I'll make sure that I'm moving in the Z direction, and I'm going to move at 1 thou increments, and I'm going to move in the Z negative direction to move left. Okay, so it appears that I'm taking off material. Now let's just check the part here. And so I'll release the trigger. It stops with the door open. Even if I press this trigger, it will not start. So here I'm starting to cut, but it appears that I'm cutting off the burr. And I can tell it's a burr because it's got a little bit of a lip on here. So I'm not actually cutting the part, I'm cutting the burr. And if I were to set the origin at this point, that would, I'd have a false origin and I wouldn't actually be going deep enough to make the chamfer that I want. So I need to take off that burr first and foremost. So with the door closed and the trigger switch pressed, and the light in the right location, this will start turning. Okay, and I'm going to move just slowly until I get you know, a consistent chip there. So I think I've now taken off that burr, but let me just check. Okay, yes, I've taken off that burr. At this point, I can hold this to origin. So I'm in the Z direction here, and I'm going to press origin. So now this is 0. And what I want to do now is read the book to make sure that I go in deep enough. So I want to make a negative 0.025 inch chamfer. So we are in the Z direction, so this should read negative 0.025. Okay. So I'll set that down here so you can see the cutting taking place. So I'll put the light in here so you can see. I'll hit the trigger switch and it'll start turning. And now I'm going to move in the Z negative direction until it reads negative 0.025. Okay, so let's take a look at that chamfer. So now you can see that there is a chamfer on the part. Where is it? There it is. And this side over here, to contrast, the part right here is still sharp. So I've now successfully put the chamfer on this part. Okay, so what I need to do now is move the tool off of the part in the Z positive direction. So I am in the Z, I'm jogging in the Z direction, and now with the hand tool I'm going to move in the positive direction. And when I do that, the tool has come off of the part. Okay, and then I want to back the tool off, come across, and move the tool in onto this side of the part. And then I'll move in this direction to cut the origin, or to cut this burr off. There's no burr on here yet. To cut the burr off, I'll put the origin in the part once I get a consistent cut, and then I will, I'll set the origin and move 0.025 in the positive Z direction. So I'm going to jog in the X positive axis. Okay, I'm clear from the part. I'm going to change to the Z axis and move to the left, which is Z negative. And then I want to move inwards. So once the point of the part is off, I want to move inwards to put the side of the tool onto the chamfer. Now this is a little bit challenging here. Because we do not want to touch the nose of the tool into the fixture. Otherwise we'll damage the fixture. So we have to be very careful. Now I do have the door open when I'm doing this, but I've made sure that my hands are free of the chuck, and I'm just going to move in the X negative direction very slowly and get close to the fixture, but certainly not touching it. Okay, so that is as close as I feel comfortable with, and now I need to move in the Z positive direction. And I am close to the part but not touching it. So with this, I'm going to close the door. Move the light so I can see. And press down on the trigger switch. The axis starts turning. And I'm going to take that burr off by moving in the Z positive direction. Okay, so you can see that I'm taking off material. I'm going to check to determine if I've removed that burr. Okay, I do not feel the burr, so I'm going to set that as my Z origin. So we'll hit the origin button, and now Z is 0. Now I want to move positive in the Z direction to 0.025. Now I'm just backing off to the origin again, and I will stop the spindle and check that chamfer up. Okay, so now when we look at the part here, it looks fairly consistent. I have a nice chamfer on this edge and a nice chamfer on this edge, and that is now complete. Now, lots and lots and lots of parts have been scrapped because of the issue coming up. When we take this off, the part will tend to fall down, and then when it falls down in here, it gets dented. And because we've already removed the material that we want, there's no way of fixing it, so the part is scrapped, unfortunately. And this is the the final step, so it's rather unrewarding. So what we'll do is we'll set the camera up just like that. And I'm going to pinch this hole, so I'm holding the fixture and the puck together with my fingers and my thumb. And I'm going to undo this clamp here so I can move the live center backwards. And I'm going to move it back with the hand wheel. Now I've disengaged the live center with the clamping puck right here, so that is no longer holding it. Just my thumb is holding it together. So with 2 hands, I will remove the puck and the part, like that, and then I can separate the puck and the part together. Now, the final step is just to remove all of the components, the fixture, the live center, and the tool, and clean up the machine. Clean up all these burrs and chips with a rag or a brush, and make sure the machine is spotless and put all the tools away. And so that concludes the video on how to make a chamfer on the top plate. And of course you would follow the same procedure to do the bottom plate.